35, beautiful, unmarried, with no children, and I'm supposedly a red flag. Last week, my friend and I went out for unlimited lobster, racked up a big bill, drank loads of cocktails, went home to our respective houses, and napped. Stop asking me when I'm gonna have children and get married. Why would I give this up?
You like it?
Why we gotta keep coming to the park for this dog? When you gonna have my baby?
What my dog did to
The
you?
dog ain't did nothing. But when you gonna have my baby? We done been together all these years, and you keep saying next year, next year, next year. But this dog, we gotta keep coming to the park and slide down the slide with the dog.
Because my dog don't look at him. He's boogie.
Look, he get treated like a baby. He eat down there better than me. Man, we need to have a real baby, a human baby.
But why I gotta have a baby?
I'm ready.
I done make.
We been together 5 years. I'm ready.
I ain't married.
You ain't gotta be married though.
But why I gotta have a baby? Like out of all the things, a baby? That's too that's permanent.
You right, I'm your man. When we gonna have my junior? We need a.
You don't see all these girls every time they have a baby with the boy, they break up. They break up. Then most of them don't even like each other for real. They just be together for the baby.
They might do break up, but at the end of the day, the important part is we brought life into this world together.
Yeah, but why we gonna be holding on just for a baby? Then now my baby gotta grow up with trauma and all our arguing because we just did it for the baby.
If God forbid we break up, we gonna co-parent well. But I just feel like we should be able to have a baby instead of keep bringing this dog to the park. I'm tired of him.
But even if we have a baby,
slides.
this still is my first baby, so he can't go nowhere. So why have a baby if I got my baby right here? See, his shirt say be mine, cause he mine. So you really feel like that?
So, I told you guys that I went out this past weekend. I went to a Friendsgiving in Harlem, and it was such a good vibe. Like, the energy in the building was amazing. Everybody was so sweet, so cool, whatever. And the niggas was there, right? So, there were a few guys there that, you know, I got in conversation with. Very handsome gentlemen, very sweet gentlemen. Like, something about y'all Harlem niggas, y'all niggas is different, right? So, there were two guys that I was talking to in particular, and we were talking to each other at the same time. So they asked me if I had any kids. And I was like, no, I've never been married, so I don't have kids. When I tell you, their reaction to what I said was just like, one of them was like, wow, that's the answer. So I started laughing, and I'm like, yeah, you know, one day soon, hopefully. And one of the other guys was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I wish I would have waited to have kids with my wife. And I was like, oh really? And you know, we started talking, and both of them shared the same sentiments, that they love their children, but both of them have several children with different women. And they expressed how now, as they're getting older and they're realizing that their children are getting older, their children are in different households, and they have decent relationships with the moms, but they wish the relationships were better, and they wish all their kids was, you know, were in one household and things of that sort. And I was like, well, you know, things happen, and you just have to be intentional about making sure that your children know each other and spend time with each other as they get older. So that conversation ended, and, you know, we went on about the party, and then one of the guys came back to me later, and he was just like, you know, you have such a beautiful, you're so beautiful, but this not on the outside. He was like, you know, your personality is what makes you the whole entire package. So I was like, you know, thank you. Like, it really made me smile. And, you know, he was just saying, like, whoever makes you his wife is going to be one lucky man. So I was like, I appreciate that. You know, like, it was good to be in company of men that I was having conversations with about, like, my morals and my standards. And it wasn't like, why you wait until marriage to have kids and things like that. Every single man in that event that I told, I don't have kids because I'm not married, it was not a negative response to it. Everybody was just like, yo, I respect it. Hold your head, keep doing what you're doing. Like, you know, your man is out there, the father of your kids is out there. So I say that to say that sometimes, you know, I think about how a lot of my friends already have children, and, you know, the joy that their kids bring them, and I one day hope to experience that. But for me, you know, and the fact that most of my friends have kids, and you know, they love their kids, and the joy that their kids bring them, and the memories that they're creating, and you know, the unconditional love that their kids give them is something that I want to have one day. However, I'm standing 10 toes on what I want. And you know, I know people say like, oh, you could get married and you can get divorced and your husband could leave you and you'll be a single mother. Yeah. But that's not what I'm choosing to believe that my story is going to be. And I'm going to believe that my story is going to be what I want it to be, because that's what I want. And I'm taking the steps for that. And that's what I'm speaking to the universe and to God about. And he's going to make it happen. But like I said, it was just very refreshing to have a conversation with men and for them to be supportive and encouraging of my decision as to why I don't have kids yet. So yeah. It just made me more comfortable with being outside. Because, you know, people always say, like, Danica, you got to be outside. Your husband's not going to find you in the house. Because, y'all, I be at work. I be at the gym. I be in the house. But being outside this past weekend made me realize, like, okay, maybe it's not that bad out there. Yeah, I didn't meet anybody that are, like, potential prospects that I could, you know, hang out with or kick it with, because everybody has kids. And that's, like, my one... Like, I prefer men without children. And I get it that nowadays that's going to be hard to find, because at least men have at least one. But the guys in this party, as amazing as they were, most of them had like 2 and 3 kids, 4 kids. And I'm like, yeah, that's not for the kid. But yeah, shout out to the men out there that's showing up for their kids and making sure that they're present and intentional and loving and caring and supportive of their children. Shout out to y'all. Y'all definitely deserve a shout out, because I met a lot of y'all this past weekend. And I love that. And shout out to the men that are about to be on the journey to becoming fathers. I hope you guys really, truly immerse yourself in fatherhood. Love it and enjoy it, everything that it comes with. And just be the best fathers that you can be. Because the world needs you and your children need you. And you matter. Okay, I'm done with my rant. I'm just in my feelings. Because like I said before, I can't wait to watch my husband be a father to our children. It's going to be amazing. Okay, bye.
Is it illegal to hire only people that don't have kids? Is that illegal? And let me explain. The reason why I'm asking that question is because so many people with kids, of course I'm not going to say all, but so many people with kids use their kids as an excuse to get out of work. And sometimes, if we're being completely honest, I have been around people and been in certain work settings where they will literally say, all I gotta say is my kid is sick. And they be lying. Don't nothing be wrong with the kid. But if you say that, I gotta give you off. Because how do I know you lying or not? But the reason why I'm asking that question is because it ain't fair to the people that don't have kids. It's not. It's not fair to the people that don't have kids. You always calling off, or you always can't come into work, or something is always happening with your child. And now the people that don't got kids gotta suffer. Like they gotta fill in for you, or they gotta pick up extra work, or they gotta do more shit because you're always using your kid. So my question is that illegal? Could somebody start a business and be like, I don't want to hire nobody that has a child. I want all my workers to be child free. That way, I don't have to worry about that shit. That way, I don't have to worry about somebody having to say they can't come in because they kid, or they kid is sick, or they kid this, they kid that. And the other person that don't got a kid, I got to turn to them and say, hey, I'm sorry, but you're going to miss your vacation. Or I'm sorry, you're going to miss Christmas time. And then not only that, I don't have to worry about the person who requested the vacation. And now I got to deny that because I got to give the person with the kid time to go be with their kid. And now the person that requested the time off is looking at me like, man, fuck that. I already paid for this vacation. That's why I tried to get this time off in advance. And now I'm in the shithole because I'm telling them, yeah, I'm sorry, man, but the kids come first. Like, they got kids, and now they like, man, fuck them kids. Like, no, bro, like, I don't want to deal with that. I I would rather much deal with people who don't have children. That way, well, shit, you book in advance. So if you ain't got no kid and you decided to take this holiday, they ain't got no kid and just missed it. Hey, gotta get it next year. But because like I said, because some people do use their kids as an excuse, and don't nothing be wrong with the kid. Like, I know y'all know that. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. In them work settings, in them work environments, there's always that one person that's never there because of their kid. Like, where is your community? Where's the village? You're the only one that can go get your child. Where's the village? Or why did you sign up for this job? Why did you take this particular job if you knew your kid was something's always up with your kid? You should have done something else. Is that illegal? That's all I'm asking. Is that illegal to start a business and only hire people that don't have children?
You're mad because you feel robbed. You feel bamboozled. You feel took. Had, if you will. Seeing those women making their videos, being child-free, making it, so to speak, out the matrix, breaking that generational curse that was passed down to women, especially black women, right? It triggers you. It bothers you. It stirs you up. And y'all are projecting big time. And it's okay. It's okay. Because it gives us an opportunity to unpack the shit that's going on. So I've seen all the takes, and I can honestly say I don't think I've seen a bad take, because all the takes to me were absolutely valid. The only take that I didn't see and that is missing is realness from someone with children. So y'all know, I'm Aya, you might not know. And I have 3 kids. My first child I had when I was 17 years old. Now I turned 18 a few moments later, but nonetheless, I was still a teenager. I had my first daughter at 17. I had my second daughter, the one that gives me the most hell. I had her at 24. And then I had my youngest daughter, I had her at 30. And I feel like, you know what, if anyone can give you grace to know what it is a lot of you guys might be feeling and experiencing, I can. It's that feeling of, yeah, you feel robbed. You feel like, had I known, or had I had people or women, other women with children, us, around me that was telling me the realities and the truth about their motherhood experience, perhaps I would have spared myself. Because it's a ride, especially when you're young with children. It's a ride, emotionally and mentally, having that mom brain. And the biggest thing that I feel like is killing y'all all is you no longer have autonomy to yourself. And you miss that shit. And you wish that you could have that level of freedom that you see them having. I seen someone in a comment section of one of my mutuals videos, and she said, you know, I've always had a child, so I don't know what it's like to be an adult with no children. And her saying that made me go down like this rabbit hole and unpack that shit, because yeah, I don't know what it's like to not have children as an adult. I don't know what that level of freedom feels like. I don't know what it feels like to never have to worry, to not have to always keep in mind other people that you have to take care of. I don't know what it feels like to have my autonomy over myself. I don't know what that feels like. And then you couple that with the fact that for a lot of you, even the ones who are married with children that you see in the comment section being big time haters because they might be stuck in a real toxic, unhealthy marriage with children, or they feel had and robbed and bamboozled because they thought what they thought would be marriage and kids and a white picket fence and a cat and a dog is not the reality of things. And they also weren't told the truth about marriage, and so they're projecting themselves as well. But y'all do know there's no sister circle for women with children. Not really. You know how it's the sisterhood. There's no sister circle when it comes to women being kind to women with children, even women with children being kind to other women with children. There's no grace that's shown for us at all. And so what happens is you get women with children pretending to be all right, pretending to just enjoy and love the experience that they're having, the experience of motherhood. And even in those comment sections, now albeit y'all was clapping back, but even in those comment sections, you see the child-free women clapping, saying, aha, boo-hoo, you know, and y'all hate y'all kids and all this stuff. So when it comes to women with children feeling seen and getting how they feel validated and, you know, people understanding and saying it's okay for you to have those feelings and those thoughts that you're having, there's a lot of shame and guilt behind that. Because some women with children do feel like, or they do have those thoughts at times, like, I wish I never had these kids. A lot of things can be true, and a woman with children acknowledging, you know what, I wish I never had these kids, does not mean that they don't love those children. A woman with children who feels or have feelings or thoughts of, I wish I would have waited until later in life to have my children. It's okay for you to feel that way. And in my case, in my scenario, like I said, going back to me thinking, damn, I've spent my entire adulthood as a mom, so I don't know what it feels like to not have children. It's also okay to have that feeling sometimes that I'm just tired of being a mom. It's exhausting. It's mentally and it's emotionally exhausting. And sometimes you're just tired of being mom, mother, mom, mother, ma. You're just tired of being a mom, and you just want to be Aya. You just want to be Nicole. You just want to be Latoya. You just want to be Brenda, without the thought in the back of your mind processing, I got to go home and fix these kids something. You know what I'm saying? Because your mom brain is always at work. So while you might get those moments of freedom, you might go on that vacation, you might get a breakaway, you might have a girls' night out, all that stuff in the back of your mind, those children are always there to not have that thought running anymore. What would that feel like for you? It is okay and completely okay for us to have, and for y'all to have all of those feelings without hating the women that decided that they did not want that for themselves. And y'all have to account for that. And y'all have to do the work to unpack that for yourself. How I look at it, how I see it, because I took my medicine, it is what it is. And just like I made videos, I have a lot of videos on my page about how I don't want my kids to have kids. I have 3 girls. And if I'm never a grandparent, I don't care. I will never encourage motherhood on my children. I hope they never have children. My oldest is 23 with no kids, because I understand the emotional well-being of moms, especially single moms. The mental well-being, especially of single moms. Moms in general. Some of the happiest group of people are single women and women with no children. So why wouldn't I want my kids to be part of that? And they run too great of a risk of becoming a single mother. And I don't want that for my girls. So when I watch these videos, I celebrate with y'all. I'm celebrating with them because I'm happy for them. I am happy watching them from the sidelines. I'm happy seeing them be child-free and thriving. So if anything, what those videos can do for you, if you are one of those women with kids and you feel triggered up, or you feel some type of shade is being thrown towards you, unpack that. Explore why you feel that way, because it's projection.
Hey there, mom of 3. To all of my child-free by choice ladies, men, anyone who just doesn't want kids, doesn't like kids, whatever like that, all these other moms that are fucking gaslighting you and just basically lying to you and saying that someday you're gonna wake up and realize that you've missed the most important thing in your life, fuck them. No, you're not. No, you're not. Having a kid, being a parent does not teach you any secret level of love. Love is fucking love. The same way I love my kid, you love your dog, someone loves their boyfriend, someone loves their house. Love is fucking love. It really doesn't fucking matter. Okay? They're fucking expensive. They're fucking expensive. And sometimes for no fucking reason. Just so that, they don't feel shitty about themselves. Like, what the fuck? There are a lot of requirements. You can't just say what the fuck you want to say. You can't just do what the fuck you want to do when you're a parent. I can't just get up and fucking go. I'd love to go to Vegas tomorrow. Can't do it. Got kids. Fuck them. If you don't want them, don't have them. You're not missing anything.
And when a woman posts something about not wanting kids or kids not being from her, please stop going in the comments saying, I had my first child when I was 38. You still have time. I don't want time. I just don't want children. I'm glad you had kids at 38, but I literally don't want them. Leave me alone. Thank you.
Because so many Black people are stuck in a plantation mentality, it allows for the adultification of our children. Just think about how we talk about our kids when they become 12 or 13. When our daughters get their first period, they're becoming a woman. You start giving them parental responsibilities like cooking, cleaning, raising children. They become your third parent. And when your sons start getting around the same age, you start forcing him into sports. Not academics, you start forcing him into sports. You send him to the field to work. And it's the same way Master used to view us. 12, 13-year-old Black girl, breeders. 13 to 16-year-old Black boys, workers. So if little Black girls have been working with children since they were 12 years old, no wonder why so many people think they're grown at 16. And then around the same age, you send your sons to the field to go play football in hopes to entertain enough white men that they'll Pluck your son off of that field to put him on a bigger field to entertain higher value white men. So this is why the Black community is so comfortable with pedophilia. We're viewing our children through the lens of the people who used to own us.
Y'all know what? I am so tired of when I make a post or when I make a video and people hop under my video and say, oh, well, you don't have any kids. Oh, well, you're not a mom, so you don't understand. Am I not someone's child? Like, you do not have to have children in order to speak on how people should parent their children. And we know that's valid because there's a bunch of people on this app who are talking about how crappy of a job their parents did. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but just because you have children does not mean that you know what you're talking about and that you're qualified to speak on the topic of raising children, because a lot of you are doing a crappy job according to your own children on this app. With that being said, let's stop criticizing women who do not have children and saying that, oh, well, your opinions don't matter because you don't have any children. Yes, the heck they do. Because I'm speaking from the perspective of the child and not from the perspective of the parent. How you like that?
The happiest, long-lasting couples that I see are when they have no children. I literally had a patient about 3 weeks ago tell me that he's been married to his wife for 32 years, and he was like, I cannot stand children. I don't want to deal with the responsibility of children, and so therefore me and my wife never had any children. And he literally attributed that to one of the reasons why their marriage is so strong. If men were actually honest with themselves, they would understand that they don't want children, okay? Men do not want children because they're not having children. The woman is having the children, and the woman is raising the child. Everyone is always saying have a child. People need to change the definition of having a child and instead saying raising a child, because everyone's brain shuts off after a woman is actually pregnant. You're not just having a child, you're raising a child. And men are not thinking about the process of raising a child. Men are just thinking about saying that they're a father. They're not actively thinking of waking up in the middle of the night to go feed the baby. They're not actively thinking of having to drop everything that they're doing, leaving their workplace to go pick up their child from school because they were acting out or because they had maybe potentially gotten sick. And so what happens is that their frame of thinking is that everything is going to stay the same, because like I said in the last video, everything is staying the same for the man while the woman is pregnant, because he does not have to undergo any type of changes at all. So a lot of these men don't realize that you just gave life. There is no fucking way that you are going to be able to have a baby that you just had to have, that can't even hold its head up straight, okay? Doesn't even have enough understanding to realize that it has to open up its mouth to get fed food, because they love to reject having food when they're first born a lot of the time if they get very fussy. These men don't understand that they are no longer going to be the priority. They're not thinking ahead of that being the thing, because there is no way that a woman can use her own life to create and carry life and then still have enough energy from that process to sustain that life and be able to pour over what she was originally pouring into the man before that. For a lot of women, the harsh reality is that you're either going to choose to be a single mother, consciously choose to be a single mother, because a lot of women are in marriages and in relationships and you're still a single mother. You're still doing everything as if you were alone. So either choosing to be a single mother and have community with, whether it be with your family, whether it be with other women that are choosing to be single mothers, or you get partnered up with someone and you choose to just not have a child, because at the end of the day, you cannot do it both. It's not going to work out in most cases both ways. You're either going to choose to be a single mother, be with a man, and have no children, okay? Point blank, period. That's really the only way that it is going to work out.
Millennials were the first generation to say fuck them kids, and for that I'm thankful. I don't think you guys understand the realization that we had that being a mother just wasn't where it was at. And a lot of the girls will lie A lot of our mothers lied, a lot of our aunties lied, a lot of women lied the generation or two before us when it came to motherhood. But it doesn't look fun. It doesn't look fun. I'm not hating. We need moms. We need great moms. We need impactful moms. I'm saying for me, I saw right through it. I didn't want to be a mom. It was very clear that seeing children, they're cute, they're cuddly, don't touch me. You just touch your nose, you just touch the floor, you just touch the dog, but you're cute. I like to get you stuff, but I don't want to be with you every day. Does that make sense? Like, I never had that desire to be a mom. And I think that was mainly because I saw through the gaslighting of being a mom was fun. No, it's not. Sacrifice.